What is this BSS? That is Cloud Business and Operational Support Service. So Business Support Service and OSS is nothing but Operational Support Service. Cultural consideration of the organization and geographical area kept in the mind at the time of due to delicance of the requirement. So in order to make the management of a business processes in an efficient manner, this cloud is also going to help this BPM by giving all these features. Hello everybody, a warm welcome to one and all. I am Rohini TS from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So in our today's session, we are dealing with the B.C.A third year, semester 5 of a subject called Cloud Computing and Big Data Analytics. So in short, we will be calling it as CC and BA, and we are in the unit 2 of session 1 and the unit name is Cloud Solutions. So here you can see the syllabus copy of this unit 2. So in this unit 2 we are going to have a discussion regarding cloud solutions. So here you can see the topics which will going to be covered in the unit 2. We'll see the first topic, that is introduction about the cloud solution. So you just imagine how are the days when you wanted to purchase any of the new clothes and all. At that time we have to visit to the shop, then only we have to wait for some time, then we have to get the clothes whatever we want. But now what is the things we are learning, or what is the things we are adapting to? So if I wanted to purchase any of the clothes and any of the accessories, I can done it with the help of online. So we have so many applications software. So with the help of that application software, we can get the things whatever we require over the online. So that is how the emergence of a technology is moving from day to day. So when it comes to the cloud also, or cloud computing also, you just imagine cloud is nothing but it is a technology or it is a service. So it is wanted to render a services to the end user in the terms of services. That services may include any hardware service, input or output devices, and also it can going to serve like any of the server, and it will provide the storage, it will provide the file security. Everything will going to be given to the end user with the help of this cloud computing. So this cloud computing has a solution for everything. That means we are moving from physical system to cloud computing. That means we are migrating from physical system into cloud computing technique. That indicates that we are moving the content of a physical devices into the cloud. That is regarding virtualization. What is the use of having this cloud? So this cloud will going to give the solution for everything, as I said. So this cloud computing will going to enhance the user experience by providing a broader communication path for reaching out to the user. So it is enhancing the user experience. So instead of having everything in the physical data, I have it in the cloud. So then somehow it will going to be very confidential. Somehow we feel that it will not going to be used. That means some disaster happens, some natural calamities takes place. At that time, no need to bother about the data and information which is resides in the cloud. Why? Because it will going to have a backup file. So that indicates that there no need to worry about the data and information those wanted to be in the cloud. So here also providing a series of business services to the user via application features. So this cloud solution will going to provide some new features to the user by the help of application features or application software. So and we can have a encryption technology. That means mainly regarding the concern about the security purpose. So it will going to include the encryption, and it will going to give the security for the data and information which we are having in the cloud. So here development and testing environments are readily available within the cloud environment. I wanted to upload any of the file, I just wanted to launch any of the application software. At that time, this cloud will going to give a solution for us. That means we no need to pay anything for in order to run the systems or in order to test or debug. If I wanted to do all those deployments, no need to worry about the capital investment. Why? Because this is only the platform which is giving the solution. That means it is giving a platform in order to deploy, in order to run, or in order to test the system which is available or which is developed. So if you consider the cloud solution in the terms of cost, so you no need to pay anything for the expenditure. That means you no need to pay anything for the capital investment. And here, if you wanted to have any of the server related operations, or if you wanted to get anything over the server, at that time you no need to purchase the servers, because these servers are available as a service. So that is one of the main thing we have to consider regarding the cloud. And also, if you wanted to if you are running some programs, or if you don't wanted to deploy it, or if you don't wanted to continue further about that project, or if you don't want to deploy it to the cloud, at the time you can easily cancel that. That means it will not going to affect the cost and time that you have spent over that. So this will going to be the projects whichever you have developed, and if the project is cancelled, then no software or hardware can, or even development tools would have to be purchased. So for example, you wanted to deploy some of the application to the cloud, but so after sometimes you may feel that I don't want it to deploy it. At that time, there is no loss of any hardware or software devices, or there is no loss of development tools. Why? Because we are doing it virtually. So if something goes wrong, if you don't want it to update it, at that time you can leave without worrying anything. That is also one of the important aspects when we concern about this cloud solution. But if you are doing it physically, you just imagine, I wanted to build a house, I will bring all the materials whatever I require. After building some of the floors, I may feel that this architecture is not so good. At that time, if I cancel that, or if I demonstrate that, everything will going to be in the loss. That means we lost the human resource, we lost the time, we lost the materials, that I won't get it back. But when I'm doing that things in the virtual platforms, or when I'm building that any of the building or house with the help of virtual tools, if I don't want it, if I cancel it, then there will be no loss of any hardware or software devices, not even the development tools. So everything will going to be remain as it is. That is the main advantage of this cloud. We'll see the next topic, that is cloud application planning. So I'm planning to deploy any of the application to the cloud. At that time, I can't do it without worrying anything. So I can't do it without doing any of the strategy or planning. So what are the planning are we supposed to take? What are the strategies are we supposed to do if I wanted to design and develop of the cloud application? So that requires some points. So it includes business functions. I have to think for what purpose we are doing. Are we managing, controlling, and are we doing the planning, staffing, administrating? We have to think about the business operation, what kind of business operations we wanted to do, and application architecture. So it specifies the type of framework and also security for cloud computing. Are we willing to go with a private, public, hybrid, or a community cloud? And also it will going to have a cloud delivery model. So whether it want to deploy it over online, or it needs to be offline. Then user experience. So we have to take the feedback from the user, how it is affecting the or how it is reaching the requirements of a user or a customer. And also development, testing, and runtime environment. I have to think whether it wanted to be online or any of the IDE dependent, that we have to think. And if you think about all these points, then somehow that will going to help us in order to plan the cloud application in a well manner. So that application architecture is selected through some sort of criteria evaluation. So when I wanted to select any of the application architecture, at that time I must have some of the criteria. If that criteria satisfies, then I have to choose that particular type of application architecture. Here you can see that so when we are doing a planning, our main concern is must about the security. Already it will going to provide some of the security aspects which is existed. But if I wanted to have some robust data, or if I wanted to have some robust application for my organization, or in order to solve any of the users requirement, at the time it must have additional security data. So that can be done with the help of encryption technology. So this is how we are supposed to plan when I wanted to update, or if I wanted to deploy any of the application over the cloud. We'll see the next topic that is related to BSS and OSS. What is this BSS? That is Cloud Business and Operational Support Service. So Business Support Service and OSS is nothing but Operational Support Service. What is this BSS then? Business Support Service. So this indicates that these are the components that cloud operators use to run their business operations. So when the cloud operator is using the services in order to run the business operation, then that will be termed as BSS or Business Support Service. So it is supporting the services of a business which is taking which is including the business operations. So such operations include taking customer orders, managing customer data and cancelling their order and tracking their order. Everything is related to what they are doing, some business operations, and if you are using any of the components which is helping in order to have that business operation, then that will be termed as business support system. And we have a OSS, that is nothing but operational support services. So if we are having any of the services which is supporting the operational activities which is of the end user, you can see that, or the computer systems are used by cloud service provider. It is used by what? Cloud service provider. So it includes network services, provisioning services. So it includes what? That means the operational support services includes network services as well as the provisioning services. So you can expect this for 2-mark question. Somehow it is important. Define BSS and OSS, business support services and operational support services. So next we'll see about the cloud ecosystem, and this is also important for 2-mark question, that is define cloud ecosystem. What is this cloud ecosystem? So if you are bringing any cloud services to market which requires corresponding pre-investment along with respective metering and charging models in support of the corresponding businesses. So if you consider a cloud ecosystem, so I am running my business physically, I just wanted to deploy or I just wanted to migrate from physical system to cloud environment. At that time, if I am having any of the applications or if I am bringing any of the cloud services to the market, that requires collaborations, that requires the corresponding pre-investment. I need to pay something in order to migrate from physical system to computer or a cloud ecosystem. So if I am doing that, it has to include the metering and charging models. So metering is in the sense what? If I am using it for half an hour, then it has to cost only for half an hour. So charging in the sense it supposed to be pay per use or it's supposed to be cash on pay. So in that model, we are going to get the benefit with the help of, or it will going to support the corresponding business operation. So this is related to cloud ecosystem. It is giving a service. It is a service, or if I wanted to bring any of the services to the market, then I have to pay something. I have to provision that something, pre-investment needs to be takes place. Along with it has to have a metering as well as the charging in order to support the business functionality as business operations. That is related to cloud ecosystem. Next we have a cloud business process management. You remember one thing, how we are supposed to read this? How cloud is managing the business process. Okay, how cloud is managing the business processes. That is related to BPM or a business process management, and this is also important topic. How cloud is managing the business processes. So here, business process management or BPM governs an organizational cross-functional, customer-focused, end-to-end core business processes. Its main concern, business process management and managing the processes which is related to the businesses. Okay, so that includes cross-functional, customer-focused. So I have to, if I wanted to do anything related to my business, I need to keep customers in my mind. And here, end-to-end core business processes, what is required from my organization, whether it is required or not. If not, no need to include that. If you are managing all the process efficiently with the help of cloud, then we are going to call that as a BPM or a business process management. Its objective is to direct and deploy the resources from across the organization into efficient processes that creates customer value. At last, we have to value the customer. So, if any of the objective, that means if the BPM is having a customer centric, then it has to direct and deploy the resources from organizational point of view. That means it has to deploy, it has to direct what it's supposed to be, how it's supposed to be, and it will going to help in order to deploy that. We are bringing that model into the user experience, or we are giving that to the user usage. So, direct and deploy the resources from the cross-functional or various functional of the organization into efficient processes that creates customer value. And also, it focuses on driving overall bottom line success by integrating verticals and optimizing the core work. So, the main concern of this BPM is to support the core business activities of the organization. So, here you can see the examples: order to cash. So, we have to pay, then only it will take the orders. Then integrated product development. It is not only considering about a single product, or it is not only concerned about the single aspects. Instead of that, it will going to integrate or combines the product development, and also it has a integrated supply chain. So, it has to satisfy the requirement of a customer by increasing or fluctuating of a customer needs over the time. Also, this BPM is the principle of continuous improvement, and also it will increasing the value generation and sustaining the market competitiveness of the organization. Mainly this BPM, business process management, will going to help the organization in all the perspectives. So, it will going to help the organization to be good at market. That means it will going to help out in order to how to behave with the competitiveness, or how to behave with the competitors, how can we increase the value generation. So, and we have to be sustained in a market by working or by competing with the competitiveness of the organization. Mainly this BPM will going to clearly defines and aligns the operations, organizations and the information technology. Totally it is taking, or totally it is managing the processes which is related to the business. So, it will going to organize, it will defines, it is aligns, and it will going to manages or going to align all the information technology which is required in the cloud. And here, this cloud environment could help BPM. This cloud environment can also help the BPM by sending or by integration of the core processes that include holistic approach. That means if you are managing this business processes, it's supposed to be holistic in nature. That means we have to think about the new things, what I can bring new in the existing system, that is related to holistic approach. So, it's supposed to be unique in nature and also cross organizational functions and boundaries. So, I have to think about all the heights and depth of the organization. So, if I am doing this, what will going to happen? If I don't do this, what will going to happen? We have to think in all the perspective. So, in order to make the management of a business processes in an efficient manner, this cloud is also going to help this BPM by giving all these features, and also includes business and technology. So, if you are having a efficient technology, or if you are running a business in an efficient manner, that is also going to help in order to have a best management which is related to the business processes with the help of cloud. We'll see now how we are going to have a platform integration and deployment component services. So, here it will going to have a value focused efficiency. This integration of a different components and deployment of a different components will going to be very interesting, and it's supposed to be very efficient. So, how it will going to be happen then? Customer center perspective. We have to think about the customer. That means if you are selling any of the object or if you are selling any of the products for 20 rupees, at the time being a customer, I have to think that will customer will going to accept this value or this object as 20 rupees. So if not, how can I minimize the cost? That means we have to think about all the perspective of the customer, whether it is right or wrong. We have to think, then only we will get to know how the customer will going to accept our process or not. Then bottom line success, we have to think about the bottom line success and also speed at which ROI is delivered. So if I am giving some money or if I am spending some time with a particular process or integration and deployment of any of the component, so what is the return I can get after the investment? So how fast I can get it, or what is the speed of getting the return in back? That means if I am investing 1000 rupees, I wanted to accept I'm expecting it to give me at least more than that 1000 rupees. So here also, when we are paying that, we are going to think about the revenue or return investment, how fastly it will going to be processed, and also performance measurement. What was the existing system? How robust the future system, or how robust the current system that we have? So that is what we are going to have a concern regarding all these points, and it's supposed to be continuous in nature. So the improvements must be continuous. It should not be static. It must be dynamic. By day, it has to improve in the terms of integration and deployment of a component services, and it's supposed to be cultural. It should not be depends on any of the fields. That means it should not be geological dependent. It should not be geography dependent. So cultural consideration of the organization and geographical area kept in the mind at the time of due to delicance of the requirement. So if I am writing or if I am integrating and deploying any of the component over the cloud, so we have to think about the area. That means geographical area, whether this country is going to accept this component, whether this country is going to accept this applications, whether it is what geographical area dependent or not. So if yes, then how many members will going to be get benefit out of this? So if not, then how can I convince them to have this application? So we have to think in all the perspective. So we have to be customer centric, and we have to think about the bottom line success. We have to think about the return, what I can get out of it, and also I have to measure the performance, how it was and how it is now, then how it will be. Along with that, we have to think about the continuous improvement of a system, and this particular application belongs to which locations. Are we going to succeed in particular geographical area or not? If not, what are the things I am supposed to do? Everything that we have to think in the terms of platform integration and deployment component service. So now we'll see about the identifying of a BPM opportunities. How can I get any of the management business processes? Then we have to question ourselves, that is, what are the strategic value proposition and capability defined by the enterprise? So what they are giving. So here everything is question mark. So if I get an answer for this, then there will be a chances of getting an opportunity in order to have a BPM. And how do you manage core business processes? So if you have a small number of organization, or if you have a small number of department, somehow that will be convenient in order to manage. But what if the business is so large? We have to concern about its business processes also. And also, how does your customer measure and assess the performance of your present processes? That means how the customer is giving attention to your processes that is done by your organization. So we have to think about how does your customer measure and assess the performance. So if you ask somebody, then they will say that this shop is very good at that one, so that shop is good at that one. So that means what they are analyzing, they are having some opinions regarding the some of the places or some of the centers. So here also, if I wanted to get a business process management opportunity, then I have to think about the customer also, how they are going to accept me, in what way they are accepting the services that we are rendering to them. So next we'll see what are the opportunities I can get or what are the benefits I can get by having cloud application development. So mainly it will going to provide cloud application reference architecture. This will going to give you some framework. With the help of that we can do whatever we want within the particular boundaries, and also this will be high performing, security will be there. It will going to give a wide range of technologies of a cloud vendor, and also it will have a more security expertise. If something goes wrong with your web applications or web application development time, they are going to be there in order to assist you. And also it will going to have a multi-tenancy. If you are creating one software, that can be used by many number of users, and also it has a virtualization, so everything will be available online. So if you wanted to get it, you can get it. If you don't want, you can put it back to the resource pool. And it also have a excellent computing, and this will going to have a significant expertise with cloud business model. What are the business model? We have to have a concern regarding particular business. Every guidelines assistance will going to be given by the web applications or a cloud application development. And also it has the ability to integrate a portfolio of which is related to cloud services. For example, Gmail. So if you are having a Gmail as a cloud application, at that time along with the Gmail you can get Google Photos, and you can have a YouTube videos, and you can have some of the services which will going to be provided by Gmail. So it is not only related to Gmail, along with that we can also get some of the services. So these are the offerings that we can get with the help of this cloud application development. I hope you all understood. So in my next session we are going to continue with the unit 2, that is cloud solution itself. Until that, keep learning, keep on growing. Thank you.